Why did you make the book non-fiction or fiction? Why didn't you make it?
Well, because
fiction?
we tried to use the political spy thriller as a vehicle,
Right.
not only for entertaining, and apparently we have entertained since we're now at the top of the bestseller list.
Yes.
But as a means of informing. We could have done a PhD thesis and have been read by 5,000 people.
Right.
So, as it is, we've been read by apparently close to 200,000 people.
The theme of your book, of course, has to do with spying, but in a little bit of a different way. We call spying about misinformation and manipulation, disinformation rather, and supplying or not supplying what the American people are supposed to hear. But I get the impression when I read your book, and I've seen you on a couple of other shows, are the American people that unaware? Is our own government that unaware of what you say is?
Well, I think it is, and witness the fact that the president didn't seem to know what Billy Carter was up to. Billy Carter got $220,000 in cash, no receipts, no vouchers, from the Libyan Foreign Liaison Office, which happens to be part of the Libyan Secret Service. And the Libyan Secret Service, to a very large degree today, is controlled by East Germany. And I'm sure Billy Carter didn't realize this. But much more important than this, Johnny, is Dr. Sakharov's letter to the New York Times. And Dr. Andrei Sakharov, after all, is a very important Soviet citizen who was at the top of the Soviet establishment for some 30 years. He invented the Soviet H-bomb. He had every door in the Kremlin open to him. And now he's a dissident, as you know, the leading dissident, in exile in his own country, in the city of Gorky.
Right.
He smuggles out a 7,000-word message to the New York Times, in which he warns in no uncertain terms about two things: the penetration and manipulation of our media by the KGB, and links between international terrorist movements and the KGB, the Soviet Secret Service. Right. And Sakharov says there are people who have been bought in the most direct sense of that word, and not always with money. And he says, I'm referring to a great many businessmen, a great many writers, a great many journalists and intellectuals. And coming from Sakharov, that has to be taken seriously, because he was at the top, as I say, of the Soviet establishment, and he knows what's going on behind the scenes.